This is going to be an amazing video for you guys. Stay tuned. Alright, what's going on everybody? So today we have another amazing video that I am going to be doing today. We are going to be installing Bilstein coilovers, and I brought the Bilstein B16 version along with the Whiteline sway bar Endlinks for the front ones. And then I also brought KYB strut boots, and then I also brought KYB strut mounts for the top hats. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to upgrade my suspension to Bilstein coilovers is because the ones I have right now is making a lot of clunking noise whenever I'm driving on the road, hitting small potholes or rough roads or even like bump stops. It's a very harsh ride, and I daily drive this car every day, and the ones I have are actually ISCs, but I'll show you guys why you should go actually to Bilstein coilovers instead of like pretty much any brand on the market right now. So I'm gonna go ahead, open this, unpackage it for you guys, and see what's inside. Okay, let's go ahead, open the package. So right here, oh, what is this? Oh, nice. We got some stickers from Bilstein. We got the manual right here in a nice envelope. All right, let's open the first coilover. Oh man, I cannot wait to see what's inside this. It feels amazing, like super well packaged as well. My goodness. Oh my god. Wow, this is amazing. Oh my goodness. It feels so solid, like it's super high quality right here. Unbelievable. Oh my god. Amazing. This is fire. Okay everybody, so we unpackaged the Bilstein coilovers, the B16, and I'm about to show you how amazing these coilovers are because they are super high quality. They look fantastic. Like, I don't know about you guys. Here is the knob for adjusting the dampening on your suspension, and then these are the back ones, and they have the knob right over here. They also come with the springs right here, of course, the adjusting height for the rear. There is a rubber gasket on the bottom, and then there's a plastic gasket on the top. The rear shocks comes with like some sort of like a big washer, I'm assuming, and a nut, and that way we can install the top hats right here for the rear. Also, this one, it comes with adjustable wrenches, so you can adjust the ride height. This one is two separated springs, so I'm assuming one is for adjusting the height and then one is for, you know, your spring rate, I would say. So yeah, I mean, these are like fantastic coilovers. I have not seen them like in person, but I'm actually very happy to have them with me, and I'm gonna go ahead and assemble this. And yeah, I'm gonna take actually a couple pictures really quick, just for a thumbnail. But yeah, let's go ahead and get started. I'm in the car. We are gonna go ahead and test the ISC suspension. I want to show you guys how it feels when driving the car. It feels a little bit harsh, so I want to give you guys like a quick peek on how the drivability is. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright everybody, so I went ahead and assembled one of the coilovers for the front one and one for the back one because I wanted to see how the assembly process works before I explain it to you guys. With this one, I went ahead and used provided bolt by Bilstein, and I used the top hat from KYB. Basically, you just try to compress it as much as you can and then just threaten the nut. The way I did it was I lowered it as much as possible for the spring, and then I also went ahead and used the knob to set it to the softest setting. On this one, it's supposed to be like at level 9. I'm gonna go ahead and remove this rubber piece. Okay, there it is. So I went ahead and used the knob to set it at the lowest setting. There is like a mark right here that tells you which setting you're at the moment, right here. If you want to make it the harshest, it'll be on level 1. If you wanted to make it at the softest, it'll be at level 9. So I went ahead and put it at level 9 and compressed it as much as possible and used this rubber to protect the adjustment knob. I'm gonna show you guys like how the process works. And then on this one, I went ahead and cut off this piece right here, used the KYB strut mount or shock mount, and also it provided with a bolt. But for this one, I don't know what are these two washers for. Like, I try to make a research on it, but there was no explanation on the manual itself either. So I just went ahead and used the provided nut from them, and I also used the boot. So I cut it just a tiny bit just to make it fit in here. Bilstein doesn't require you to put the strut boot. It just tells you to remove the OEM top hat and put it on the new Bilstein stock and strut, even on the rear as well. So they don't require you to put the strut boot. So I didn't put it on this one right here. I just put it on the rear shock for now, and I'm gonna see like how the feedback is from driving it after I put them on. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys how I assembled this rear shock right here and the front shock as well. Okay, so here is everything that you're gonna need to assemble the rear shock. So you have the rear shock itself, you have this rubber boot right here, you also have like scissors, you're gonna need the top hat as well, or you can use your old one, and you're gonna need a socket with a 1/2 inch deep socket and the provided bolt from Bilstein. So let me go ahead and remove this. This is out of the way. So for this one, I'm gonna go ahead and cut it somewhere around here, and then place it onto the top hat like so. So I'm gonna cut it right over here. Okay, now this is cut. So now I'm gonna go ahead, assemble the rear shock. You just push it down, use the nut from Bilstein, thread it on. Okay, now this is assembled and ready to be put on the car. Okay, so this is the assembly for the front shock. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and remove the rubber piece, and that way I can adjust the dampening to the softest setting and set it to the softest setting, which is the level 9 right here. I'm gonna put this back because we are gonna need it so I don't scratch the knob or damage it. And then you want to do is lower the spring to the bottom as much as you can. So I'm going to use the spanner tools that is provided by them. Okay, and that's how you loosen it. So you want to push it both outwards, and then you can loosen this, and then bottom this out all the way to the bottom. We can go ahead and place the top hat, 2-piece. So you just push it like so. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and assemble the top hat for the front shock. So I'm gonna go ahead and place the top hat onto the spring. What you wanna do, there is like a knob right here. So this knob is basically the groove or like the end of the spring itself. So it will be somewhere around here. So you want to match that to this, and then you want to use the washer and the nut provided by Bilstein. So I'm gonna go ahead and push it as much as I can. Use the washer, use the 19mm, and try to thread it by hand. It's a little bit tricky, so you gotta be very patient with this. Okay, I'm gonna use my leg to support the top hat from going up. I want to keep it down, and then thread the nut with your hand, and then just keep threading it as much as you can. Okay, this is the best I can do. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my 19mm socket and then just tighten it. So at this point, you don't want to tighten it too far because you want to adjust the knob I was telling you guys about, which is this knob right here. You want to make sure you place it right here. That way, when you put it onto the front of the car, it can fit perfect. Okay, so this is how it's supposed to look like so. Now the thing is with this shock is the fact that it has an Allen key right here. So you want to use a 19mm wrench, or if you have one of those fancy tools, you can use an open socket that is 19mm, and then you can place the Allen key right here. But I don't have that, so I'm just going to use my hand, and that way it'll adjust from there. And then you just keep tightening it as much as you can. Okay, that's the best I can do. And it should look like this. So bottom it out as much as you can, and then we can tighten it even more while it's on the car as well. But yeah, this is how it looks like. So as you can see, the knob matches the spring right here, so like at the end of the spring. So yeah, let's go ahead and assemble this on the car because I'm excited. We are gonna go ahead and do our first step, which is removing the sway bar end link right here. So on my ISC, the Endlinks itself has a 17 millimeter, some sort of like a socket, I guess you can put in between. I'm using, in this case, a ratchet, and then I'm going to use a 17 millimeter socket in order to remove it. Most of the Endlinks, they come with like a hex or Allen key in the middle, but in this case I'm going to use a ratchet and wrench. Gonna remove this cable right here, or bracket. Okay, and then the next step is I'm gonna use my jack just to lift a little bit the suspension, so that way I can remove the sway bar end link from there. All right, I'm lifting it up just a tad bit. Okay, here it is. This is out of the way. Okay, I went ahead and removed the ABS cable that's behind the brakes. So go ahead and remove that. Okay, that one is removed. Now we can pull the brake line away. So you want to push it down and then to the left or to the right, and that way you can remove that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and lower the jack. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and hammer it down just a tad bit. Okay, and that is removed. Alright, so before I remove the two other nuts right here, make sure you grab the coilover from one hand and untighten the other two by hand. That way the coilover itself doesn't fall on the ground. So I'm gonna do that. And it should be loose. Okay. And we got the coilover out. So let's go ahead and compare the front ones of the ISC coilovers with the Bilstein coilovers. All right, everybody, so right now we have removed the ISC coilovers from the Speed 3. I'm gonna go ahead and compare the two of the coilovers that I got, the ISC and Bilstein, and the differences is massive. So and I made sure to remove both sides as well, so make sure you guys do that. So this is the ISC coilovers, this is the Bilstein coilovers, and like I said, like the differences is massive. You won't be able to tell, but I'll let you guys know what it is first. So the first thing is the amount of collars there is. So this one has 3 collars, this one has 2. Now I know for a fact this one is for your spring rate and then this one is for your ride height. But I feel like the more collars that you have, the more rattle it gets. When you tighten this, I try to tighten these as much as I can. For some reason, from time to time, one of them gets loose. So I feel like the more collars you'll get, the more hassle you'll have. So that's why I went with Bilstein, because there's only 2 collars and that's just the ride height. The spring rate is already adjusted for you. Second reason is the top hats. So the top hats on this thing right here, it's metal. So like I said, the metal to metal contact is gonna affect the quality of the ride. This one is more like softer rubber. So it's metal, like, but it's still like solid and rubbery feel. So it feels comfortable. This one is metal to metal. So you're gonna hear those noises hitting the speed bump or whatever. The third reason why I don't like the ISCs is because this is one of the main stuff. Why would they design an Endlink that's shorter than the OEM? So I'm assuming it's just because of the ride height as well. But to me, I feel more comfortable with going with the ride height of an OEM. And also like the Whitelines, they are adjustable too. So you can go from like OEM height to a shorter, but this is like this is even the shortest length you can go to, comparing to ISC. ISC is like way shorter. So when you have short Endlinks, you're getting here also knuckle noises, like metal to metal contact. So you're gonna have that noise between the Endlink itself and the sway bar. So I'm gonna show you guys or demonstrate it for you. Alrighty guys, so I'm underneath the car and I want to explain why I don't like the ISC Endlinks. It's because of this problem right here. So when you are driving on the road and you hit a speed bump, you're gonna hear like a clunking noise. So that is the result of having short Endlinks, because when you have short Endlinks, you're gonna have the height of the sway bar itself being short. So what is gonna happen is you're gonna hear clunking noise from metal to a metal. That part right here of the sway bar itself and the stud would hit each other. So it's probably either this one or the other side, but this is the reason why I don't recommend anyone going with a shorter Endlink. Just use a regular OEM height and you should be fine. I want to explain why I also went with Bilstein over ISC is because the rear shock is one complete piece. It's not adjustable, it's just one solid piece, and I do recommend everyone going with something like this instead of having, like I said, with collars. Because to be honest with you, myself, I don't know how to adjust the ride height on the rear shock. And second, it's because even if I knew how to adjust it, this also is going to get loose over time. So why would I go with that? So this is the reason why I wanted to go with Bilstein as a beginner of installing coilovers. And yeah, this is my reasons why I went with Bilstein over ISC. And also the final reason why I choose Bilstein over ISC is because if I want to adjust my my dampening, I can just do it from the bottom right here, from the bottom knob. Now I know it sounds ridiculous, why wouldn't they put it on the top? But to be honest with you, I actually prefer putting it on the bottom, because with the top ones like the ISC, they require a tool in order for you to adjust the dampening. And what if I lose that tool? I would have to buy another one, and so on and so forth. So this one is already set there for you. It doesn't have that many clicks, so it's just like 9 clicks. So 9 for the softest and 1 for the harshest. So I feel like I'm gonna go between 5 or 4-ish. I don't want it to be too hard and I don't want to be too soft. I just want to be right in the middle. So yeah, that's about it. Okay, so a quick update for you guys. I want to explain how you install your Bilstein coilover. So right here, I did explain before, when you assemble your coilover, what you want to do is you want this part right here, or like this knob that's on the top one, to be on the other side of the bottom knob. So it will look like a triangle, and its nose is this part right here, and the back side is this part right here. So I thought I'd explain it to you guys if you go into a trouble like this. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and assemble the coilover. So I'm gonna try to feed it from the bottom, and I'm gonna use one of the bolts right here so I can fit it in, and that way it can stay on. And then also I can put the other 2 on as well. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put the other 2 bolts. Before I raise the knuckle into the coilover, what I want to do is to be able to maneuver a little bit better is to put this collar right here just a little bit up, so that way the length of the coilover could be a little bit shorter and it will be easier for me to maneuver around. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I loosen this collar and then I raise it just a tad bit up. So now I'm going to use the jack to raise this so it can meet, and there is a bar or like a metal bar right over here somewhere, and you want to meet it right there, right in the middle. So you want to make sure you put it like there, and yeah, you should be good to go from there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Move it a little bit. Okay. Okay, I'm at the point where that back plate or that back thin plate that's on the coilover, and I'm gonna align it to that hole. Alrighty, so as you can see, it wasn't that bad at all. You just have to move it back and forward like this brakes or the knuckle itself. Just wiggle it a little bit and then this will fit. Okay, right here, this is where that metal piece I was telling you about, this one right here, it meets into like a line or a hole right here, and where it ends is like this part right here, that middle piece right here. So that where it ends. So now I'm going to go ahead and put that 17mm bolt into place. Alright, so we have another issue because of the Whiteline end link right here. I think the threads is a little bit too long, and it would hit this part right here, so it wouldn't even like fit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lower the coilover and put the Whiteline end links first and then raise it up. So I just want to keep you guys updated. Okay, so a quick update. I went ahead and lowered the knuckle again, loosened the bolts right here. That way I can install the Whiteline sway bar end link, and I moved this just a bit tad to the front, and now it fits. Now if you have a stock end link, it will definitely fit with no problem at all, but for me, I have this aftermarket end link right here. Unfortunately, I'm gonna have to like remove the top 3 bolts and lower the control arm in order for me to install this end link right here. I wish they would have like at least made it shorter so we don't have to do all of that hassle, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess. So, and this is the only end link I have at the moment because the OEM one is shot. So that's the reason why I bought this. So I didn't know it was going to be that long. Okay, so after you put the end link back to its place, make sure you put the washer right over here first. And then what you want to do is you want to put the bracket for your ABS sensor like so. And then you want to go ahead and place your washer and then your nut like so, and then here is the nut, and then you want to go ahead and tighten it down, and I'll keep you guys updated. Okay, so I have a small tip for anyone that is having a problem putting the coilover onto the knuckle. What you can do is you can spread the knuckle and open it just a tad bit. And what I did was I used 2 washers and put them in between that hole right there behind the knuckle itself. And then what you do is you tighten it with the regular 17mm bolt. You just keep tying it until it opens, and that's like a very nice trick that I learned from a local Mazdaspeed owner here in Jax. So you just want to like tighten it just a tad bit, not too much, and then this will become loose. So you can like adjust it left to right, up and down, and that way you can raise the jack and put it in place. So I thought I would give you guys a quick tip. Alrighty guys, so I went ahead and installed the top nut for the end link itself. I'm gonna go ahead and do the bottom one. What you want to do is you want to put a washer first onto the end link, and then push it up like so. Then what you want to use is another washer and the nut. Then you're gonna tighten it down. Okay guys, so for tightening the Whiteline Endlinks, you want to make sure that you want to tighten it by using a 17mm wrench right here, and then to hold it in place, you want to grab the black nut on the top and hold it in place. And then you just tighten it as much as you can, so that way it doesn't move around. So the next step is you want to put the brake line into the bracket right here. So you want to feed it from the bottom and then push it to the top. Just wiggle it a little bit, and then place the clip and then push it like so. Okay, so the next step is to adjust the ride height. So the default ride height was somewhere around here, I would say. It was pretty close to the bottom. It was somewhere around here. I do want to raise it up just a tad bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put it on the 10th thread for now and twist this so that way I can tighten it. I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it. So you want to grab your big wrench on the top, the smaller wrench onto the bottom, and then you're gonna tighten it as much as you can. So here's this, like so. Okay. Alright guys, this is how she is looking, and it's looking amazing. Like, the quality is phenomenal. I made sure to tighten down everything, torque spec everything, make sure that everything is connected properly, and I made sure to tighten that collar right there. I put the clip back in place for the brake line. Made sure to put the ABS line, made sure the Whiteline Endlinks are good. The top one is also good as well. And yeah, let's go ahead and do the rear ones. Got me a slush or shaved ice from the ice cream truck, just to get myself a little bit occupied. Whew. This definitely cools you down. I needed this. It feels so good. In this hot weather, oh my god, it's insane. Okay, so this is part 2 of installing the Bilstein coilovers. I'm in the back of the vehicle. Underneath the car, you'll see there is an end link. So you want to go ahead and remove that. And you want to go ahead and do that on the other side. That way, when we remove the end link, we can drop the bar itself. And that way, this will be loose. So we can drop the control arm. So let's go ahead and do that. And the sway bar should drop like so. We are gonna go ahead and remove this bolt right here, and in order to do so, we want to make sure that we lift the control arm just a tad bit, so that way the removal process will be much easier. So I went ahead, grabbed me a jack, so I'm gonna go ahead and lift it just a tad bit. Like so. I'm gonna lower the jack slowly because the spring has so much pressure on it that it could jump. So lower it just gently. Okay, once you lower it, you want to hit it with the rubber mallet lightly. And that way it'll drop the control arm. I'm gonna lower the jack a little bit more. Like so. Again with the rubber mallet. And then you just keep doing that until the control arm separates from the knuckle. Okay. Now the spring is separated. There's no pressure, and the control arm is separated. So we'll go ahead and remove the spring. Okay, so now there is one bolt right here holding the rear shock. It's a 17 millimeter, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. Okay, and then final thing that we need to do is remove the two 12 millimeter. I'm gonna use a deep socket right here. All right, so the shock is loose, so I'm gonna go ahead loosen the last bolt because this is gonna drop, and use my other hand to hold it in place. Now I can remove it. And here it is. Alright everybody, so right now we have removed the rear shock and the rear spring. The number one reason I choose Bilstein is because, like I said, it's one piece. It's one solid piece. There's no two pieces like this one. There isn't a collar right here to adjust your ride height. This one is already set for you, so you don't have to play with anything, and it's done. So that's one. The second one is the fact that this one is actually super high quality. Like it feels built well. This one I feel like is super cheap. Like it's okay, but like this thing is a beast. I mean, I don't know like if you guys can tell. And the third reason I choose Bilstein is because the knob right here is on the side. Most of the knobs from other brands, they usually put them on the top, and then you have to make like some sort of a loop on the top above like your seat or something. I don't like that, to be honest with you. I think it's just too much a hassle. This one is already in here. Also, you don't have to like lose that piece for the knob right there. This one is already here, so you can adjust it and you're good to go. So this is my reason why I choose Bilstein over any other brands. And now I'm gonna go ahead and install the rear shock and the rear springs onto the speaker. Okay, so I went ahead and threaded the ride height desired that I wanted to do. I went ahead and did like 14 threads. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this before I install it. Okay, now it's ready to go onto the car. And the way you want to do it is you want to put the blue gasket right here on the top, and then it comes with a black gasket or black rubber, and that goes into the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and install the rear shock. So I'm just gonna go ahead and feed it through. Feed it like so. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten these right here as much as I can. Okay, so I'm having a small issue. I am trying to feed this bar right here from the shock inside this metal piece right here. Show you exactly. So this piece right here, I am trying my very best to put it inside right here. So I'm gonna jack it from the side because I don't want to jack the actual control arm. All I want is to jack the actual shock itself. So I'm gonna jack it slightly. Okay, so now it's just jacking the actual shock, and you can see it's moving up like so. Make sure you put the dampening into setting number 9, which is the softest. So now it's almost there. So what I can do, I can just push this and then hopefully it will go in. Went ahead and jacked this part right here of the shock as much as possible without jacking up the actual control arm, and I made sure that it goes around here. That way I can feed it and use my hand and then just push it, and then it will lock in place and then go down like so. I went ahead and installed 2 spacers in between the shock. So I used a metal tool, like an Allen key. I fit it in between because the shock and the spacers would separate from each other. And then what I did was I jacked the shock, not the entire control arm, just the shock with a socket. This was in between, like inside right here. It's really hard to explain, but I fit this part inside the spacer and the shock itself, so that way there's no movement around. And I jacked just the shock with one of the sockets and it fit perfectly. I just had to make some adjustments. It took me forever. If you guys needed a trick, that's the way I did. And to adjust it, I just use a flathead screwdriver or Phillips screwdriver and then just wiggle it in order for me to make sure that it aligns with the hole. That way I can install the bolt right here. If anyone is struggling to install the Bilstein shocks, this is the way I did. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and install the rear springs. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and install the spring. What you want to do is you want to reuse the rubber boot that's on the back side, which sits around here, and make sure that the end right here meets the rubber boot itself, so it's somewhere around here. So I'll go ahead, put this Alright, so I went ahead and tightened the bolt. So now I'm going to go ahead and lower the jack. And that's it. Alright, so next I'm going to go ahead and torque this to 60 foot-pounds. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead also and torque this down to 60 as well. That's two. Guys, so we're gonna go ahead and test drive the car, and we're gonna do it on the same roads that we did last time. So let's see how it goes. So the first impression on the Bilstein B16 is the drivability is like super comfortable. Like I feel like right now the car is a car. It feels that amazing. It's very responsive, I can tell you that, and it's been absorbing a lot of bumps. Like there isn't that many clunking noise, to be honest with you. There is some clunking noise, but I'm assuming those are actually related to the sway bar itself, or the sway bar bushings. That's going to be in another video, but we are talking right now about the actual shocks itself. So they are phenomenal to drive. I put the dampening setting to click number 5. So I didn't want it to be super harsh, nor want it to be super smooth or super soft. But yeah, the car feels absolutely amazing. Wow, these shocks and struts, they absolutely they're like spectacular. They're incredible. Like they absorbed almost every bump, and I'm so happy I went with Bilstein this time. Here's another one. No sound of clunking whatsoever. It's incredible. It feels so comfortable right now. I was honestly very embarrassed in front of my friends and family members. I would take them on a ride. We would go to the grocery store, we would go visit a friend. Yeah guys, to be honest with you, I would definitely give this an 11 out of 10, no doubt. Like these are 100% one of the best coilovers you can get for comfort and track, like hands down. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead to one of my favorite places, and I want to show you guys what the ride height looks like. So let's go ahead and go for it. Alright everybody, so right now I'm going to show you guys how the ride height of the Mazdaspeed looks like. So it actually is amazing. I expect it to be a little bit lower, but I'm really happy with the results at the moment. They drive really nice, and I don't want to mess up with the ride height for now. So this is how the ride height looks like. They are absolutely incredible, and I like it the way it is because my wheels and tires are a little bit wide. They are 18 by 8.5 plus 35, so the wheel sticks outside just a tad bit from the fender itself. And this is how the rear looks like also. So I got it aligned at a tire shop just like an hour ago, and the ride feels incredible. And this is how she is looking from the rear. The rear, I might lower it just a little bit, but before I lower the rear, I really want to make sure the fenders on the rear is rolled. The front ones are rolled, but not the rear. So I really want to make sure those are rolled and properly done. But yeah, she is riding really good. I am really enjoying the ride quality. The Bilstein B16 Coilovers, it's been absolutely amazing. They absorb every single bump on the road. I'm actually very impressed. It's very comfortable. I don't hear any clunking noise whatsoever. The only clunking noise I'm hearing is actually from the sway bars itself. So I'm gonna replace those because the bushings are very common issues on these Mazdas, and I'm gonna be making a video on the front ones and the rear ones. But yeah, it absorbs the bumps really well. It drives very smoothly, and the ride quality is absolutely amazing. So those are my very three top things I have in my head right now. But I'm not gonna feel embarrassed in front of my family or friends when I'm taking them to like the beach or to like the grocery store or through like even a restaurant. And yeah, I'm really enjoying riding this thing. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed doing this a lot, and I'm hoping to do more videos for you guys in the future. So make sure you share, subscribe, and like and comment. I'd love to hear some of your feedbacks, and we'll see you guys next time. So take care.